Hey guys, Katie here with For the Love of Leftovers. Thanks for hanging out with me today. We've got a bunch going on in this video today, and we're starting off at a local strawberry pick your own patch. It's huge. Okay, you'll see clips of it later. This is a place that we go to every year. This year I decided to take just my daughter and have some mother-daughter time. And I did this in part because we have gotten rid of screens at our house. And I mean, like, took the TV off the wall, put the iPad into a safe, and we've, like, removed it completely. And so I was trying to have some bonding time with my daughter, which she wasn't overly thrilled about it. Let's just say we were having some withdrawals. But she was a big helper, and we did get a few big boxes of strawberries to bring home. Next, on our mother-daughter day, we went to the local Amish country store that is actually, it's more like a farmer's market. Anyhow, it's right down the road from where we pick strawberries, and this place where we pick strawberries is about 45 minutes. So anytime I go pick strawberries or do one or the other, I will come through here and check out and see what they have produce wise. And of course, as we're getting into summer and starting to head towards fall, crazy, they're going to have more and more produce, and it's usually a pretty great deal as far as pricing, and you know that it's organic and it's just good stuff, right? They had these swings though that were not a good deal, but they're amazing. Perfect, beautiful quality. This one was my absolute favorite. I love that blue color. Just not in the budget. But they do, some of them glide. There's rockers, there's gliders, there's just chairs, all the things. And we were having fun, testing them out and dreaming about which ones could come home with us.
Just 4 cents.
$4. The fudge.
Yes.
Alright, just got home. This is a look at the strawberries that we got. These 2 flats were $3.38 per pound, so they ended up being $66 and some change for all the strawberries. Most of these will just get eaten. And then I did end up getting a bit of a deal at the Amish market. These were labeled wrong. They say not for sale or not for resale, but they are, and that is literally the only issue with them. And so this bag of 18.5 pounds ended up being $120 for the whole kit and caboodle, and it was $6.50 a pound, so it was discounted a little bit because of the wrong label. Okay, and then I did get a couple things of celery. I have a big bag of carrots in the fridge, and I believe I still have onions, and like carrots, celery, onions, those are like the base to so many things, so many great dishes. Did get some broccolini, and that's, let's be real, that's pretty much for me. We've got a bag of spinach here, so I'm thinking maybe a chicken Tuscan spinach dish out of that. Some green beans, always a good option for a side. Got a head of cabbage, thinking maybe doing maybe a coleslaw, or I could do half coleslaw and half egg roll in a bowl type of a deal with that cabbage. And then a big, beautiful bag of dill. It smells so good. Bunch of zucchini. I'm thinking we're going to get this on the Blackstone, maybe do some sort of hibachi thing with that. We've got some beautiful, beautiful tomatoes. Some of them are more pinkish than red. This I figured for maybe some sort of caprese bread, or what else was I thinking? Oh, we got all that beef, so burgers, of course. And then I did get some of this homemade ketchup, and we got some jalapeno ketchup, which I thought that would be good, especially mixed with mayonnaise. Some homemade barbecue sauce. Got some basil to go with the tomatoes, because our basil, our herbs are not doing great. And then we got a baker's dozen of these hand pies. And so there's chocolate, there's raspberry, blueberry, and strawberry hand pies. And then my daughter also got raspberry chocolate fudge with her own money. So that was her little gifty. Okay, good morning, friends. It is gonna be a beautiful day here. It's high of like 67 today. Like I'm gonna be turning off all the air conditioners, making breakfast out here this morning. Kids are on the trampoline. It's a little wet from last night, but that's okay. And this morning I figured we would give a try to some zucchini for breakfast, because I am trying to have more vegetables. Let's see if that turned on. Yeah, okay. So I'm out here on the Blackstone. There we go. Takes a few times. All right, we're gonna get this heated up and cook some zucchini. Okay, and then to add insult to injury, I am not doing coffee. I've already had a cup of black tea, and now I'm doing a matcha latte with some keto sugar. Ooh. A little too much of the matcha. The matcha I have is like super strong. So if I even put in just a little too much, it's very grassy. Very grassy. That's what that one is this morning. So we'll have to maybe fix that up. I miss my coffee. Alright, we're going to put some bacon grease on here. So I don't think I'm going to... I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I'll be honest. Like, I don't want to eat as much animal. Like, I don't know. I don't want to eat as much meat because I feel good when I'm eating vegetables. But if I'm trying to do keto, I can't do beans. So, I don't know. Maybe I'll just do veggies with bacon. I know that's animal, but like, I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, so all I did was chop up this zucchini and put it on a plate, and then I put seasonings over it. I didn't even like mix it. I'm doing the mixing now on the Blackstone, and so I've added in a large amount of bacon grease. Let me show you what it looks like. We've got these. You want to make sure that your seasoning isn't like dry and just sticking to the Blackstone. So you need quite a bit of bacon grease that way. And then as the zucchini cooks, it's going to kind of render down in a way. It's going to release a lot of liquid. So, Diesel, So now we've got a good amount of liquid on here. The seasonings aren't just sticking to the Blackstone. All right, let me show you. Okay, so I've got my zucchini and I did salt, black pepper, paprika, onion powder, and garlic powder. And then I've got my jar of bacon grease there. It's all cooking, and yeah, we're just gonna shut the lid and we're gonna give it a minute or so. This is gonna help create a little bit of a steam effect. It's gonna help to tenderize those zucchini and keep that moisture in a little bit. And for those that are curious, this is the keto sugar that I'm using. I really prefer monk fruit. I just happen to get this one that has erythritol in it as well. I've had it for quite some time. I really only use it for my coffee because when I do keto type things, I really don't eat sweets. I either cheat or I don't eat sweets at all. So that's just the story of my life. Yeah, but we're gonna have to help this guy out a little bit. But here is a look at the zucchini, nice char on it, and your girl tries not to eat like a white girl. I love to season and over season my food. All right, we are going to start working on lunch, and apparently zucchini has a whole bunch of carbs in it. More than what I thought. I stupidly figured since it was a vegetable that it had practically no carbs. Well, that's not the case. It has quite a few carbs. So, we have to focus on meats for the rest of the day. So, don't mind the kids coming in and out and kids playing in the background. So I think what I want to do, because I do have some cauliflower rice downstairs, I think what I'm going to do is hibachi chicken on the Blackstone. So I have 2 bags here, probably 2 to 3 pounds of chicken breasts. So I am just taking that out of the bags that they're in. This is farm fresh chicken breast, so it's packaged a bit differently. So I need to take it out of the bag, get it kind of drying, just like some of the moisture off of it. I'm going to cut it up and we're going to get it into a baking dish just to marinate. This is probably one of the bigger things I have without running downstairs and grabbing a bowl. So I'm just going to cut the chicken up into bite-sized pieces. Toss it in this dish, and then we'll add in our marinade. Of course, now as I'm thinking about it, I mean, hibachi does sound good, but then I was like, oh, I have some limes. I could add in some lime juice. So now I feel like I'm going more Mexican with with the flavor profile. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see when push comes to shove which way we're gonna go. Let me know down in the comments. How well do you know me? What am I craving today? Just making sure to take out any extra parts. And I do have one that's at basketball right now. We have about half an hour before I get to go get him. So I'm hoping I can at least get this all cut and sitting in the marinade before we get to go pick him back up. And then when I come home, then I can throw them onto the Blackstone. And maybe we'll throw some vegetables, and this will just be everyone's lunch today, actually. I was going to kind of keep it for myself, but we don't have a ton of leftovers happening right now, so this might Okay, so I wanted to tell you guys about how we took the screens away from my kids. And it's not because they're bad kids or anything. We definitely were noticing some behaviors and things like that. But, like, really, it was how can we make things a little bit better? How can we force them to get outside some more? You know, a little more on the air of a 90s kids' summer. So we decided that, like, we've tried taking away, like, just the power cable and things like that before. And it honestly didn't work. Mostly in part because, let's be real, I get overstimulated, and it was very easy for me to just put on a show and think that we needed background noise and think that the kids played better with background noise, things like that. Well, my kids went over to my parents for the night, and we took the TV completely off the wall. It's under my bed. And when they came home, we just told them that it was broken. And yes, I lied to my kids, but I don't care. I'll be honest. Like, the results have been pretty good, so I'm okay with lying a little bit. And, like, I know that's gonna, don't come at me in the comments, but hear me out. For my toddlers and for my autistic son, who don't understand reasoning in the same way that my 11 and 12-year-old do, and even that my 7-year-old daughter does, we needed to just make it very easy to understand and just say, it fell off the wall, it broke, we don't have a TV, we don't have money to get a new TV. And I also said to my kids, hey, if you can find the iPad, you can play with it. They're not going to find it. They're in a safe. So, like, being able to take away the visual reminder of it being an option, so that it's not so much, now with it gone, it's not a option that they just don't get to have. It's like, no, it's not an option because it's not there. So they're not really losing out, because that visual reminder of, oh, this is something you just can't have, like, that's not there anymore. And that has been working extremely well, especially for my autistic son. We did have a few attempts at bolting, but we did expect a little bit of a rough patch. Okay, so I don't have any soy sauce, which is definitely not how I thought that was happening. So we're going to make a little bit of a change. I'm going to keep with the hibachi. I did decide that much. So soy sauce is, it's going to add the salty flavor, and it's also going to add a little bit of a, what is it called? I don't know, like a zing, right? It has a little bit of a zing. So what I'm doing is I'm going to salt and pepper this chicken. Okay, which should do anyhow. I did give it a little more salt than I would have. I'm going to add in a little bit of Worcestershire instead of the soy sauce. So this is going to become it's going to be a little zingy. It's going to have a little bit of that salty, briny flavor. That's the word I was looking for. We're going to add in a little bit of mirin. Okay, this is kind of like a rice vinegar. Okay. Remember, we're spreading this over like 3 pounds. Yeah, it's probably 3 or 4 pounds. We're going to add sesame oil. I'm going to add in a good amount of sesame oil because I really like sesame oil. I feel like that's one of those primary flavors. Okay. I can smell it. Then we're going to add in a hefty amount of garlic. One of my favorite things about cooking is when you don't have something, you can just you can find other swaps. You can find other things to use. All right, loads of garlic. Okay, then I'm going to add in some of this dairy-free butter because this will go to my kids as well. So I need to make sure that it's safe for everyone. And I am going to do my best to kind of mix this all around. Alright, so there's our chicken. I'm going to put a piece of plastic over it. We're going to let that marinate for probably an hour and then we'll get it on the grill. Okay, so we have to leave to go get my son from basketball. It was only an hour practice. It's right down the road. But like, this is one of the reasons why I like quick and easy recipes. Minimal ingredients with maximum flavor is my jam, okay? So what we're gonna do real quick, I've got my bowl of meat right here that has thawed. Okay, so I've got a pork loin here. Actually, I think there's 2 in here. Yep, 2 pork loins. And that's all that's going to go into my little slow cooker right here. Meaning like no veggies or anything like that. But we are going to add some deliciousness. So this was one of the items that I got at, not the Amish market, the Mennonite market, I believe. What am I thinking of? Yeah, the grocery store that I usually go to see what like items they have super cheap. That's where I got this. And it does say it's Whole30. Doesn't mean that it's keto, but we're not going to use a ton. And we're not going to be eating, like one person is not going to eat all of this pork loin, right? So, I'm going to give it a good shake. This was 95 cents. Almost has like a curry smell to it. Okay. Different direction than what I was thinking. Mango cocoa. So we're going to put this right over the top of our pork loin. Okay. Say probably half a bottle or so. Let me show you. Okay, it's enough to coat it in there. Okay, and then to help keep it nice and moist the whole time it cooks, I mean, yes, we're in a very small slow cooker, so that's going to help. But I am also going to add in this 14.5 ounces of diced tomatoes with the liquid. Just going to mix it real quick and then pop the lid on. So after smelling that, that's all mixed together. It definitely smells more like a curry. I'll have to have a final taste when it's all done to really determine it. But I think what we're going to do is we're going to use the cauliflower rice, serve this over the cauliflower rice, and do the hibachi and serve that with cauliflower rice as well. Okay, we're also going to do some hibachi vegetables. So I've got 4 carrots here. I have a large zucchini. Very large zucchini. I have a frozen pack of shiitake mushrooms from Trader Joe's, if you can remember when we went there. And then I'm also going to do an onion. And I think those are going to be our veggies for our hibachi veggies. I don't have any broccoli, so we'll skip that, but that's okay. That gives a nice variety of vegetables. Oh, plus we'll have that cauliflower rice. Okay, so I want to keep telling you about the whole no screens thing. So when my son initially came home, when all my kids came home from my parents' house, there definitely was some backlash. My autistic son tried to bolt most of that day. It was only 3 hours before bedtime, so I was like, let's just get through 3 hours. Tomorrow should be better. And lo and behold, I mean, like I said, yes, we had the bolting initially, but the next morning he was like way more calm. He slept in later, like him and my toddler slept in later, which science says that if you stop watching screens 2 hours before bed, you sleep better. And I would definitely attribute it to that. But he and I talked about birds. We talked about nocturnal creatures. We talked about what he was going to learn at summer school, like about planets and things like that. We had such an intellectual conversation, more so than we have in a long time, quite honestly. The next day, I mean, and it was really encouraging. Like, okay, this could be something. So now that it's been a week later, I'll update you a bit. There's been a few times that I've let them watch a movie on my laptop, and that's because we had severe thunderstorms. There were some things going on. So twice now they have watched something on my laptop within this past week or so. Yeah, it's been a week and a day at this point. And today, I definitely could tell something was off with him this morning. He has his last week of summer school. He really didn't want to go to summer school. We've changed bedroom situations, so there's been a whole lot of change for him over the past few days. And anyhow, today was a rough day. He definitely bolted. There were a few times that I was like, oh man, I wish I could just put something on, but I was also working on my laptop, so it was just a whole chaos of things. I ended up running a shower for him, and that helped a little bit. Tomorrow night, I believe we're going to maybe switch the room situation back to what it was. We're talking as parents that maybe it was just too much too soon, too much change, need to give him more time to adjust to things like not having, screens. And that was a big thing, because he did earn screens for doing a good job at school, for not being combative, things like that. Today he was trying to bolt again, or elope, depending on who you talk to. It's referred to as both, but so I mean, we did have that issue today, unfortunately. But in general, everyone has been playing outside more. Everyone's been using their imaginations more. Even my toddler, the first day, goes, "Mom, it's so quiet in here." And I was like, yeah, dude, that's because we don't have the TV on. And I didn't realize how much that was adding to our day. I did not realize how much that was actually adding to the chaos that I was feeling all the time. I thought I needed the background noise to function. I thought my kids needed it, and they have certainly proved otherwise. So it's been really interesting to see. And my two older boys still get computer time at night on the weekends so that they can play with their friends, but it's only after the littles have gone to bed, so it's only 2 hours on a Friday and a Saturday night. And then they're going to camp this weekend, so they won't even have any screens at all, no phones, nothing. So it has been really interesting. It went how I thought it would, and at the same time, it went differently than I thought it would. So I'm really glad that we gave this a chance, that we, actually took things down, because I feel like that was the game changer, especially for my younger kids and for my autistic son, to not have them feel like it was a punishment, that, it was still up and they couldn't earn it or couldn't do it, whatever. I find I think that was the key. And we do have, some plans of eventually bringing back maybe a small one that we can kind of remove at times also, but still have the opportunity for like, maybe doing like Friday night movie nights with the whole family instead, and making it into something special instead of just a distraction from parenting. So yes, I'm just going to say it right now. I am adding quite a bit of flavoring, okay? There's a lot of marinade in this. There's also a lot of vegetables. There's a lot of chicken. And I also plan to do the cauliflower rice last. That way, any excess liquid that's on the Blackstone, it will soak that up, kind of like a fried rice would, right? But we're just using cauliflower instead. Vegetables are all done, ready to go. I'm gonna let these thaw out a bit. So we have about a half an hour before I need to really get cooking lunch. So that's plenty of time. I'm gonna tidy this stuff up. And then I think maybe I'll get prepping some burger. Alright, don't mind the dirt bike in the background. Got kids trying to have fun. We are going to do some taco meat. Some ground beef. This is organic, grass-fed. So there's not a lot of fat involved. So we're definitely going to be using some bacon grease to cook this on the Blackstone. So I've got, going in here, I've got paprika, garlic powder, onion powder, a little bit of pepper, got some chili powder going in here. Remember, I still have seasonings on the grill from doing the zucchini. Add a good amount of cumin, some salt. I don't measure any of this. I just kind of throw it in and wait until my heart says, yeah, that's good. And then we're going to add a little bit of Italian seasoning. If I had only, what is in this? If I had only oregano, I would put some oregano, just oregano in here. Of course, now I'm looking going, I thought I did have only oregano. I don't know. I'm adding a bit of Italian seasoning though, because most Mexican spice mixes actually have oregano. So that's okay. We're going to do it like that. Okay, and now I'm just going to take a gloved hand because it makes my life a little bit easier, a little bit less messy. It's my last glove, so I'm using it for this recipe, I guess. Okay, we're going to mix it until the seasonings are all pretty well combined. Ooh, you know what I'm thinking? I wanted to do the pork. Oh, the pork. Okay. Let me think this out loud. I do have some tortilla shells, like some soft tortillas. So we could do that. Or I could put these on kebabs and we could do it that way. I was originally thinking having the pork served on the taco tortillas, but I just remembered it smells more curry. So, okay, so that's why we did that. All right, that's all right. We're just, okay. Gonna stick with plan A. Actually, maybe I'll do a couple skewers and see if I can like trick some of my kids into eating them. But I mean, you put meat on a stick and all of a sudden the whole thing changes, right? So I think I'm going to try that. We'll see if it falls apart. Well, I'm gonna do it for some of them. See if it falls apart, because it's so lean. This meat is just so incredibly lean. Okay, I'm just gonna do like 3 of these. And I'm just grabbing a glob of it and just molding it around the stick, and then I'm putting it onto my cutting board that I use for all the vegetables, and then just kind of molding it more on there. And I am leaving the ends of these exposed so that my kids know where the end is, because I don't want them to bite into this kebab and get a pointy part stuck in their mouth. All right, so I've got the Blackstone all cleaned off. We're gonna start with our hibachi. Okay, I've got all of this chicken that's been marinating just about an hour. It really doesn't need to marinate too long. Put that in the sink for me. Hey, look, you get me all the veggies that are. Go get me the thing of vegetables.
Hey, Fisher.
Alright, so we've got the chicken going over here. I'm gonna dump all the veggies. All right, so I have this cranked right up. Not getting the sear on the chicken like I want. It's windy out, so I think it's just kind of blowing the flame from underneath, which is going to prevent it from getting that really nice sear. It is definitely hot enough, but not keeping that even flame is making it a little difficult. Veggies, I'm going to keep them right where they're at. We're going to do every so often a little flip, just because I have all of this liquid here. So I'm essentially just trying to baste everything with this liquid. I think my Blackstone is not sitting even. But it's all right. We'll make do, and this will be delicious. Yeah, you can see it kind of caramelizing up here. Alright, my other camera died. Well, the SD card is full. It's taking too long. So, wanted to show you, here's what we got going on. I'm going to take off this chicken because it's done, and as much as I want to get some more color on it, I don't want it to overcook and become dry. So we're going to take the chicken off, and we're going to spread these out, let them get a little more surface area, a little more char. Alright, and so I've moved over vegetables, adding all of that cauliflower rice, and I'm going to use all of this liquid to really season it up. Okay, well, joke is on me, because as soon as my camera got filled up, my Blackstone ran out of propane. So, we have moved inside. No big deal, right? Still cast iron, still cooking over propane. Literally the same thing. Okay, so we're gonna finish these up in here now. So I've got as much liquid as possible. I've got my veggies charring in here. These are all pretty well cooked through, so these are just charring at this point. And then I've also got our cauliflower rice over here. It was still pretty frozen, so I scooped all of the sauce that was left on the Blackstone as much as I could and added it to this skillet with this cauliflower rice, and I'm gonna let it really evaporate for as long as I can, and then I'll add some oil to it and let it cook a little bit more like fried rice. So those are going. I'm going to flatten this out as much as I can. Get as much of that rice touching the skillet as possible. Okay. Give these a little zhuzh. Oh yeah, look at that. That is looking like hibachi. So that was clearly part of the issue with cooking the chicken and then starting to cook the vegetables. It was running out of propane. Not a big deal. So just zhuzhing that a little bit. Again, let those flatten out. We're going to get a nice sear on these. In the meantime, my oldest son and I are snacking on this chicken. And you can definitely tell it's missing some of that soy sauce, teriyaki sauce. But it's good, regardless. It is really good. And much cheaper being made at home. Alright, and here is the plate. We've got the hibachi chicken and the vegetables and the cauliflower rice. I think this is gonna be good. Alright, and here's our pork, and I did check the internal temperature, but you know, these new crock pots, man, they are just they're just hotter than the old ones, but these are done. And they've only been on low for what, 2 or 3 hours now? Let's take them out and have a look. Right. Yeah, those are definitely done. So you could cut this as medallions, you could chop it, just put it over rice in that way. Alright, I'm going to just have a little bite, and that sauce did loosen up a lot. Let's see. Oh, it's got some kick to it. Definitely not tasting as curryish as I thought it was going to. Turn this off. And it's going to stay nice and warm in there. Okay, so that has a really unique flavor, and remember I was talking about making tacos with it was my original idea, and I still think that it'll work really well for that. So I think that's just going to be another kind of taco, which nobody in my house is ever complaining about tacos, especially me. So we're definitely going to keep that for tacos. Plus I got the taco meat. The skewers are already gone. The kids ate those. We had the hibachi, and that was delicious. So that's it. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I hope you got some really good recipe inspiration for the Blackstone, or just for in your cast iron in the kitchen. These are really flavorful, delicious dishes that really only require just a few ingredients. So if you like this kind of content, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.